Hey everyone, how's it going? Maximilian here to get today with another installment of SimCity, our series that we've been working on for quite a while. I just wanted to start off today's video going through and looking at some of the stuff that I did off camera in preparation for today's video, which I will get to shortly. But mainly what I've done is I've reorganized the university campus a little bit. We've expanded to add a medical school and a business school. So now we have all 5 of our different schools here, which means we can do all the different researches, which I've been chugging along off camera, just getting some basic ones out of the way, such as the clean coal generator, some solar arrays, some other stuff. Also, we've had to upgrade our small fire department into a much larger fire station. The main reason for this was to get the hazmat garage. So now that we have a university, we started to get some higher tech level industries, and high tech level industries can have hazmat fires, meaning that they can't be put out with normal fire trucks. So that was something we had to do. I had to do off camera. I also upgraded and messed around with the highway a little bit. I had to scoot this bit of the highway over so we could install a bus terminal, because the previous bus station we had sitting here, the buses, I added another one over here. The buses only carry 40 people, 40 Sims, and I realized that just was not going to be enough, so I upgraded to the bus terminal where the municipal buses can carry 80 Sims. So that's been a bit helpful. Obviously, as you can see, we have a huge amount of traffic in the city. There are just cars literally everywhere. A lot of cars. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the two sides of the city are not very well connected. I did not do a very good job at extending the grid off camera, and so I wanted to work on that a little bit today, as well as preparing our new city for us to use next week. And so let's jump right in. So one of the first things I want to do today, I think, is try to work on this traffic problem that we have. We have a lot of cars moving along, it seems like this road right here, the main street, as well as this road over here, and the highway is getting pretty congested, and I'm not sure why. I've been trying to keep track of where cars are going. It seems like a lot of cars are using the highway to jump across, so that they come down here, they come through here, and then they try to jump across using the highway, and that is really clogging up our feeder roads that we have. So I'm not sure how we're going to fix that. I also want to help alleviate the traffic that we have going this way, maybe by installing a couple more, another road right here, or maybe tearing down a section of the city and putting in some trams. I think really the problem is that we're now pushing the maximum of our population. We're at 230,000 Sims in our beautiful city, and so I think traffic is just going to be a problem due to the number of people that live here. But nevertheless, we will persevere. So I think let's go ahead and we'll get a medium guy going in right there. Should fill back in. Not sure, but I guess we'll have to see. I also had to rebalance some of the commercial with residentials. So one of the persistent problems we've had is really high industrial demand, really high residential demand, and absolutely no commercial demand. So to help fix that, I removed some commercial zoning and replaced it with residential zoning. And so by doing that, the commercial will eat up less of the industrial goods, which lowered our demand just a little bit and helped to create a little bit more, eat some of that residential demand that we had over here. So hopefully that helps. Like, this street is already being used quite a bit, which is good. It's what I wanted, and it seems to have alleviated traffic just a bit right here. We'll have to see. I think one of the main causes of the traffic, if we look at the color of the vehicles, most of them are workers trying to get to this area, and a lot of shoppers over here. And I think we'll see a surge in students in the mornings and when classes get out. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get a better idea of where the Sims are coming from and where they're going to, so that I can do a little bit of a better job in reorganizing this city. And so I'm going to go do that, and I'll see you on the flip side. So one problem that I'm seeing during the student peak hours is a lot of students getting trapped in this area trying to get across to the other side, of the highway. And so two possible solutions to that is going to our education tab. We already don't have that many students in class. We have 5.5 out of 7. And so one solution could be to get a community college and put it on this side of the highway, and hopefully that'll draw a large portion of students over here. The other option is to build a road right here and connect it like this, which I'm really tempted by. I'd have to move the Department of Education, which wouldn't be a huge deal, but we'll see. I think we're also going to go ahead and build that other highway crossing, so we're going to have to go in, delete the Department of Education, go ahead and replace it. That looks like a good spot. It's kind of nice, angled. Not most things in the city are pretty grid, so it's nice to have a little bit of variety. And then we'll come, and what's the M? M. Yes. Is that? Oh, I need to look at this. Here to here, M. Yeah, it looks good. Oh, accidentally deleted some buildings right there, but not much I can do about that, I suppose. Yeah, they're coming back though, and that is already full. That is a very popular route, obviously. We may need to come back in and add a feeder road to connect to the highway, but for now, it looks good. So one thing I also wanted to mention is that it looks like our oil wells are running pretty dry, which is going to be a problem for the city in the near future. And so I'm thinking that we might have to switch to a different specialization. Oil has made us a lot of money. I think we've done a really good job of using it. But, you know, as always, all good things must come to an end. So I'm not sure what my plan is going to be for this, but I think it involves going and using these thermonuclear reactors in place of a lot of our oil usage. So if you look here, it says that we're using 22.6 thousand barrels a day just to power our city, which, as far as our total oil production goes, is quite a lot. I mean, we're barely making 22,000 anymore. And so I'm really going to try to push through getting the last bit of this research, and then I think we're going to have to transition to nuclear power. Okie dokie, so we just got our our generation 2 thermal nuclear reactors. Now go ahead and start our fast neutron reactors, but in the meantime, I'm apparently going to deal with this hazmat fire. Don't we have a hazmat? What's going on? Yeah, he's working on it. He's working on it. Anyways, so I want to start working on where we're going to be putting this nuclear reactor. So they're actually quite large, and take up a lot of space, especially if you're going to end up adding a second reactor. And so we may have to remove something in this area. We also could put it up here, but I think it does have a pretty severe negative land value, so I don't want to affect any of our high wealth residents, of course. So that means something over here is gonna have to go. What amount of oil do we have? Hello? This one. There's still a decent amount over here, but not enough for me to really care. So that's gone. Okie dokie, so now we're gonna get our nuclear reactor. We'll go ahead and place him right here and go in, get rid of the old tower, get our Gen 2 thermal reactor up in here. Produces a little bit more power, so it should be good once we have it. Just try to orient that, put it there, and go into our oil power plant and disable a couple of those burners, since we'll have the nuclear power plant to subsidize it, and hopefully get a little bit more of our oil come back into the nuclear power plant. Might just rearrange this real quick. I think the Gen 2 is actually bigger than the Gen 1, which kind of makes it awkward to place and play with, which I'm not thrilled about, but oh well, can't really do anything about it. Go and get a sign, put it right there, and yeah, turn off our oil power plant since we shouldn't need it anymore with the nuclear reactor, but we might go in later and use up some of that oil. So we are in a power deficit, so I'm just going to go in and turn these two back on, and we should be good. He's upset because his storage lot is full. That is full. These are full. Okay. So I'm saving up just a little bit of fuel because I think it's about time we jump to our Great Works site. The plan is to build a space center. They're really cool. You get to watch we get to watch rockets take off occasionally. They provide a ton of education and tourists, which I think is all good things. We're going to build that. Our application is being processed, so hopefully when that is done, however that works, it'll notify us, and then we can start shipping our fuel off to the Great Work site. Electricity is doing fantastic, so I'm actually going to turn off that one, and this will run out of oil relatively soon. Just gonna turn off those two. And we should see an extension to how much oil will get left out of this one. Still having some water problems, and now a giant monster is attacking the city. Wow, we are really just getting hit with every single problem that could possibly happen all at once. That is unfortunate, I would say. That is unfortunate for sure. Looks like there is a giant not a Godzilla, but definitely something. And he has just torn through quite a lot of stuff right there, and he is demolishing the recycling center. I think he actually eats trash. I think that is what is happening right here. Yeah, he is just destroying stuff right now. That is that's unfortunate. Yeah, see, he eats trash, which I guess is a good thing. I mean, is he actually eating any? He doesn't look like he is. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. He has some buggy eyes, though, I gotta say. Okay, well, while that's happening, casually, we'll have to go in and replace all of our recycling. And get a new walkway. We'll get a nicer one. So yeah, that was a trash monster, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Great. Well, while all of that is happening, I think it's is our space center done? Yes, it is. So we're gonna go ahead and phase 1, send lots of fuel up to here. So what'll happen is any fuel that we have in the storage lot that's designated as used locally will then be exported actually to the Great Works site. We don't get any money for this since we are the ones that are going to be benefiting from it, but it is definitely worth it to do. So I'm gonna plop out on those guys, plop out on a sign, and then slowly some fuel I still have siphoned off to export, just so we can keep the city making money. But the rest of it will be siphoned off to the Great Works site, which you can see is already being built in the distance. Okie dokie, so it looks like our oil power plant is just about out of oil. So I'm going to go ahead and start our Gen 2 thermal reactor and say bye-bye to our oil power plant. Okie dokie, so it looks like we finished our fast neutron reactors, and so I'm going to go in. Let's see how we're going to do this. Pause the game. If I delete both of those. Now, the great thing about the fast neutron reactor, it actually produces even more electricity than either of the other two, and so we're actually just going to barely scrape by. It looks like with just one nuclear reactor. I might add a solar power plant or a wind turbine if it becomes necessary, but we'll see. Our electricity is hanging in there, just barely. And I think we've actually completed all of our research projects. Yep. Don't need that one, so not a whole lot of point in doing that. Which also means we don't need these dorms to be on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them off. I'm going to keep them for aesthetic purposes just because I think they do look really nice, but they do eat up, what is it, $500 an hour each. So that is maybe a bit too much. So that is really going to save us, and then we can go ahead and lower taxes back down to normal, which is awesome. We got our commercial demand back. Everything seems to be relatively all good. Well, I think this has been an excellent episode for our city. We've done a huge amount of work in between last time and now. We have a nuclear power plant officially going green. If we look at some of our other metrics, our ground pollution is completely gone over here. That was a problem. And there's none over here. This is going to be a problem when we figure out what we're going to do with our oil refineries. But yeah, everything is looking pretty nice, actually. Our skyline looking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Ooh. Just, small problem there. Well, so I think that's going to be it for this episode. We've done quite a lot. We have our nuclear power plant, finished up all of the research that we could ever need at the university. Our high-tech industry is coming in nicely. We have a beautiful, beautiful skyline from the oily boys. I remember when we just started out, a small trailer park. And now we're a glorious city. So yeah, I'll see you next time when we start our new city. Bye.